Jonathan Michael Porter, better known by his stage name Blueface.
Females gonna watch this. Look at me, baby. Yeah.
A young street entrepreneur, gang affiliate and rapper from Los Angeles. Despite initially and perhaps still widely being mocked for his offbeat rap style.
Well, because for the most part, on songs, he sounds like he's 30 seconds ahead of the beat. Or like he's trying to race the beat to the finish of the song.
Blueface's success was meteoric. So much so, in fact, he was dubbed an industry plant by many hip-hop fans, claiming there's no way someone who can't rap on beat could become so popular in such a short period of time. Interestingly though, that's what kept his name in headlines. Despite this being musically not the best, his most popular songs were the ones that were the most offbeat. Could this continue to raise his profile and have his career continue to rise? Or was he another overnight star that burned bright only to fizzle out? These questions never got an answer. His life took a different path entirely, a much, much crazier one.
Damn, dude. Shit. They not worth.
I just bled her so bad.
Take me in. Come on.
Blueface's rap career started with a bang, going viral with songs talking about his street life, his gang affiliation. Before long, he inked a deal with the West Coast arm of Cash Money Records, a notorious label ran by Birdman.
When my name come up, respect it.
Let's go.
Stop playing with my fucking name. I'll drill y'all. Stop playing with my name. I ain't gonna say it no more.
With this came opportunities, but of course, they have a cost. Birdman has a history of mistreating young artists. He's even associated with conspiracies about members who ended up dead shortly after leaving Cash Money. So despite being popular musically, Blueface didn't plan to stick around in the industry for very long, which of course was a shock to his management, who'd put down millions of dollars keeping him out of federal prison for multiple felony charges. Blueface wouldn't get back in the studio, instead starting to focus on multiple businesses using his name as leverage. First up, he started his own OnlyFans reality show called Blues Bad Girls Club.
Damn, y'all late. They already fighting.
A $50 a month subscription that gave access to YouTube quality episodes of the craziest reality show on the internet. If you ever wanted to see a dozen or so half-naked women in their 20s dance, drink and beat the shit out of each other, this was the show for you. The idea came from simplicity. Blueface liked watching girls get crazy, so when two girls on his music video set started fighting, he recorded it for social media and decided what better way to make money than to manufacture the perfect scenario to recreate this on a daily basis. The solution was real simple. He had a house in Hollywood with enough space and he could pay the girls in something that everyone on social media wanted: clout. It would cost him almost nothing and earn him tens of thousands of dollars per month. The girls would come to him, they would send audition tapes and if selected, live in the house where they would routinely punch the shit out of each other while competing for Blueface's attention and more social media followers, which they would then hope to monetize in other ways. The real star of this show though was a woman by the name of Krishan.
I play football, I'm 20 years old. I just moved out here from Baltimore. I'm not from LA, I'm from Baltimore. Moved out here like a week ago. Yeah.
What seemed like a real nice girl with a history like Blueface himself. He'd been a star football player in his high school days and even got a full ride scholarship to play in college before getting homesick and returning home to join the schoolyard Crip street gang. Krishan was a junior Olympic level track star with a bright future in the sport, though she of course put this on hold in the search of fame and fortune on Blueface's reality show. There was just something about her that put her ahead of the rest. As soon as she entered, an immediate fan favourite, mostly because she came into the show swinging, literally. Episode 1, she was fighting. Episode 2, she was fighting. Episode 3, you get the idea. There weren't many episodes where she wasn't throwing hands with one of the other girls. She clearly struggled with some personal demons, and then she drank alcohol, which was a frequent element of the show, and she became a demon.
Get the fuck out the room! I beat you up!
Then nobody want to stay in the room, bro.
Bet!
What?
Bet!
She was the exact kind of person Blueface wanted, not just on his show, but apparently in his personal life.
This gonna work.
Yeah, because this one little.
Whoa,
My bad, Chad.
whoa. Hey, you put a hole in my wall.
You rich, you can fix it.
Rumours quickly began to circulate that Blueface and Krishan were more than meets the eye, especially since shortly after meeting, she got his entire face tattooed on her neck, an act that he apparently liked a lot, so much so that he started asking the other girls to do it unless they wanted to get kicked off of his OnlyFans reality show. They were literally branding themselves with his face, all while being paid nothing but potential social media followers if people liked what they saw. Krishan, however, was special to him for whatever reason. She started to rap under the name Krishan Rock, and Blueface signed her, managed her career, and before long, she had 5 tattoos of Blueface.
One on my face, one on my neck that say Jonathan Jamal Porter, one on my that say Jonathan, one on my hand that say Jonathan. It's Ashy.
Though of course recently this number increased to 7. Behind the scenes, they were an unofficial couple. Before long, they were public, not just in their relationship status, but in their relationship dysfunction. Blueface alone at this time was capable of making headlines, never for his music anymore, mostly for his criminal activities, such as a high-speed chase that resulted in him shooting at a man who robbed him at a gas station. But now, it was being publicly intoxicated and physically fighting his girlfriend in the street, in a bar, in a restaurant, basically anywhere and everywhere. Multiple videos circulated showing her beating him beating her, and this was just the beginning. Blueface was no longer staying relevant for anything except him and Krishan being crazy. It wouldn't even be a stretch to say she was keeping his name relevant when nobody even knew who she was a few years prior. Pretty much nobody at this stage was asking, when's Blueface going to release a new track? They were instead asking, have you seen what's going on with Blueface and Krishan? Which is likely why Blueface saw this as a perfect opportunity. Where most other people would probably break off the relationship, or at least try to keep it behind closed doors and get on with their career, he had completely different plans. He signed up with a company called Zeus, and they had a camera crew follow their every move, recording for a show called Crazy in Love, which would launch on their streaming platform. A way to monetize the most toxic relationship on the internet, a behind-the-scenes, intimate look at their life. This show outed many details that makes it, honestly, incredibly difficult not to watch. It's like a perpetual car crash. You laugh, you shake your head, you cannot believe what they're doing to each other. If the snippets of being caught fighting each other in the public was of interest, you could now watch them manipulate and abuse each other in high definition across almost hour-long episodes. You could watch Blueface go to Baltimore to meet Krishan's family for the first ever time, get sucker-punched by her father, and then minutes later catch him with his back turned and knock the 60-year-old man unconscious, leaving him bleeding on the pavement, and then mocking him saying, "I'm her daddy now." You could hear about how Krishan beat the fuck out of Blueface's mother in Blueface's house while he watched and encouraged her to do it, or how his sister and her husband came over to teach her a lesson after laying hands on their mother, only for Blueface's friends to jump in and beat up her husband, bragging about stomping on his head, and then record Krishan beating up his sister to post on social media. You could watch the court case against Krishan for the time she broke into Blueface's house, wrote how much she loves him on his mirror in human blood, and then steal his car, driving it, herself, and some drugs across state lines. Or how about when she travelled alone to the court case while Blueface went to Vegas without telling her, and then got caught on CCTV shooting at a man outside of a strip club, gaining himself another attempted murder charge and more millions of dollars in legal fees for his record label, who he doesn't make music for anymore. Pretty much every episode is them getting drunk, her drinking hard liquor from the bottle at 8 AM, and then them getting into physical altercations, like the time she smashed a glass over his head. It really does seem like they're locked in this together, in a race to the bottom. Krishan seems like an alcoholic, Blueface seems to enable her, though it's unclear whether he does this so she goes crazy and gives him more internet clout to stay relevant, or if he just doesn't know how else to handle her. She seems to drink to cope with the fact she was abused as a kid by a drug-addicted mother, an absent in-prison father who was only around long enough to beat her, and now lives with a man who routinely neglects and abandons her for other women. It's to the point where they're drinking hard liquor and drunk in couples counselling. Despite all this, and despite how crazy their life is, every episode has a snap back to reality moment. A look behind the curtain that the viral TMZ clips didn't ever show you. These are two heavily damaged people who found each other and do seem to love each other despite what's going on. They're entirely codependent, they're fucked up, they have their own emotions, wants, needs and pain, and they just can't escape from each other. It's never clear who's the abuser, as they're both as bad or worse than each other in every scene alternating, which is probably why it's so popular. You never know what's going to happen next, and which one you're going to sympathise with, if any. It is, without a doubt, the most real reality show out there, with the fitting title, Crazy in Love. Because no matter how much they beat each other, no matter how much they cheat on each other, how much everyone around them tells them to get out of each other's life before one kills the other for real, they end up back together days later. It's so crazy that they can't even go on a podcast for longer than 20 minutes without Krishan being so drunk and aggressive that something crazy happens.
Come here! Hey, come here, bro! What are you like? Why are you doing that? Why are you doing that? Blue! What are you doing that for?
So it seems like Blueface's career is over. It seems like he killed his own career, at least as a rapper. His relevance now exists entirely in the realm of what crazy shit is going to happen between him and his girlfriend. A train wreck that keeps going, documented exclusively for a subscription fee. It's impossible to say how real this relationship is, though the Crazy in Love series does make it seem very much so. The worst part of it all, of course, is that while ever they're earning the majority of their combined income from being toxic and beating each other up, they're unlikely to ever improve. And if they get any worse than they currently are, it's hard to imagine that this doesn't end in tragedy, one way or another.